A thread by Carlos Oswita. How do we know that leftists know they're sunk? Check out this 158-year-old man making an absolute fool of himself. The head leftist is calling in all the markers. It gets so funny from here until the election. From Breitbart.com, Noam Chomsky. Trump is the worst criminal in human history. Trump is the worst criminal in human history. Undeniable. There's never been a figure in political history who was dedicated with passion to destroying the prospects for organized human life on Earth in the near future. There's overstatement, and then there's Noam Chomsky's last hurrah here. Now, why is Trump the worst criminal in human history? Because he didn't stop global warming, which Chomsky says is already too late to stop. We all get wiped out in 50 years no matter what, but since it's irreversible, why does Chomsky want us to try and reverse it? This is like the claim that all white people are racist from birth and can't ever change. Well, then why do you keep demanding that I listen? If I can't change, I'm not going to waste my time listening, and I'm not going to waste your time. It would be like you talking to a pile of bricks. Let's all forget it, okay? Move on. Every single day, leftists do something else that assures the reelection of Donald Trump. Trump is the worst criminal in human history. Not even Chomsky believes that. Someone's forcing him to be remembered as a whoopee cushion. The Democrats can no longer be parodied or satirized. And yet, some of you are still worried. Trump spent years as a Democrat. Why? To spy on them. Guess what else he did? He planted sleeper agents. People always think long-term plans are evil. Nope. Some of them are hell-bent on improvement. We had a bipartisan ruling class. They were in it, seriously, for groupies, booze, drugs, and money, and to go on TV. That's it. Leftists also lusted after power, but people like George W. Bush and Mitt Romney had no idea what they wanted. Bush was an emotional catastrophe, totally unfit to be president. Bolton is a psycho. Romney is a machine that gets angry sometimes in a petty way. Bushies don't matter. They'll have no impact on the election. Remember who Bill Kristol said was the secret weapon who would defeat Trump in 2016? That's Evan McMuffin. Another bizarre contraption that can't even come across as human. Here's an issue that maybe you hadn't noticed. Over the past 30 years, public figures have become more and more unlikable. They're all abnormal. This is one of the reasons that Joe Rogan is so successful. We all have different tastes in comedy, and I'm not Joe's target audience, but as a show host, he isn't matched in likability. Brian C. Allen, too. Joe was on a TV show called News Radio. It was one of my favorite shows. Brian made at least one guest appearance as Joe's brother. They had a love-hate relationship. I remember a scene where they stood face to face as if about to go crazy with violence, but it was funny. You know what takes great skill? Going from drama to comedy without changing anything. The actor Armand Assante did it brilliantly. Fatal Instinct, 1993, link in the description. The movie On the Beach is great, but the remake starring Armand Assante is stunning. Asante reached the peak of his acting prowess at an age when most leading men have been relegated to character actor. He began as a pretty face and grew into a real work of art. If you can find his movie about the Confederate submarine, the Hunley, get a copy. Asante's great gift was that he became likable. It's a quality that few public figures think is necessary. So here's what we have now: horribly unlikable people rioting and spewing total insanity. But some of you are worried that they're going to win the elections? You've gotten used to unlikable public figures. I never did. When I find a person strange and unlikable, I look for someone else. My gut never fails me. If someone gives you the willies, it's always for a good reason. You should read Noam Chomsky, I was told forever. He appealed to the most unlikable people I've ever known. People who thought they were some kind of intellectual master race. A very dangerous position to adopt. The truly smart person understands how little he or she knows. It humbles you. For example, I have no idea what Donald Trump will do next on any given day. All I can do is reverse engineer. Human ingenuity is impossible to predict. Greg Gutfeld. But if you posit several factors, you can predict the outcome. One, a man of near superhuman intellect planned his presidency for 30 plus years. Two, his opponents are like poo-flinging chimpanzees. Three, he has geniuses like Brad Parscale and Jared Kushner helping him. Four, the economy is recovering at a much faster rate than anybody expected. Five, crazed mobs are trying to destroy all that the general public holds dear. Six, the opposing nominee has dementia and appears to be incontinent. Seven, all incumbent presidents who lost were idiots. Eight, pollsters are unable to balance for the support that the incumbent has and will have on election day. Nine, the opponents are attacking every single group they need to win. 10, the opponents are cannibalizing themselves. 11, the opponents can't perceive the true incumbent. 12, the opponents can't perceive the reasons why anybody would support the incumbent. 13, the opponents are promising fiscal and social annihilation. 14, the incumbent can't be predicted. 15, the incumbent has not yet begun to fight because the opponents don't have a nominee. I don't have to be a fortune teller to know what's going to happen. Trump has solved problems that plagued us for almost a century, and yet people are terrified of the upcoming election. It shows a lack of faith that I can't understand. Knowledge is power. Learning, doing your own research, frees you from the dangers of psychological manipulation and gaslighting. People are hurt by insults from strangers on social media. Maybe it's because I came to all of this late in life. I didn't start using social media until I was 52. I made mistakes, but the whole time I knew, I don't know this person. The most indefatigable stalker I ever had was a young woman who I knew immediately had been institutionalized. She thought she was hiding it well. So, when she told me that she had to tell me something important, I told her I already knew, and I told her what it was. She was stunned. When I finally agreed to talk to her by email, guess what? She tried to make it into sex talk. I warned her multiple times that I wasn't interested, so I finally cut her off. She doxed me and spent the next 18 months chasing me all over the internet. This was in the days of talk forums, not social media. She'd hired a private detective. She also used a language analysis program to identify me, and she used anonymizing software to protect her IP address. Everywhere I went, she doxed me. But she made one mistake. Before she turned on me, she used 30 or more usernames on the forum where we met. I don't need language analyzing software to identify people. I just need my brain. So I searched all her usernames, and eventually I got a hit. That name led me to identify 30 or so more usernames. I searched them all, got 30 or so more, and so on. Finally, I found one of her usernames on a website that documented the photos of E.J. Belloc, who was a client of brothels in Storyville, New Orleans. He photographed prostitutes. I figured that my stalker was moonlighting as a call girl, so I searched escort services. I found an escort in Seattle who had one of my stalker's very unusual usernames. She was young and matched the physical description this woman had given me. Once you know a face and a fake name, you can find a person. I found an email address that used that name. I got an IP address for a small town. I looked up the town on YouTube and found a video of this woman performing a lap dance on another woman. The caption gave her first name. I found her full name and address. She's the daughter of a very famous man. So I sent him everything I'd found on her hooker secret life and the harassing she'd done for 18 months. She sent me a hysterical email denying everything and accusing me of ruining the life of an innocent woman. But she stopped stalking me. There were only 2 women in the US with her name. Now there's only one, and it's not her. Who knows what happened to her? I don't care. I just had to make her stop. Guess what? Trump's enemies are a million times crazier than she was. And Trump is a billion times smarter than I am. She made one mistake. Trump's enemies are spinning so fast that they're disintegrating. Have you ever thought about this? He's gaslighting them. That's why they've lost touch with reality. Calm down. Trust the Trump. As he said, what have you got to lose?